As a kid, I was creative, I was fun, I was outgoing, and I'm still like that today, but I've found that over the course of the years, I've realized insecurities about myself, I realized things about myself, and because of this, I'm more worried than I was then. I've also found that as I've gotten older, I've been way more closed off sometimes than I would have liked to have been. I first got into filmmaking and video editing when I was around 9. I sat down at my home computer, and it was this crappy HP, ran terribly, but it was all I had. And I sat down and I opened up this program known as Windows Live Movie Maker. Some of you have probably heard of it. And I looked at it and I went, hey, look at that, it's a video editor. And I was surprised by this because when I was even younger than that, I had this flip phone, and this crappy little flip phone took a lot of video, like unlimited amounts of it, and it had this little pause button that if you pressed it while filming, you could go over to somewhere else and get a different shot. And so I would use this all the time, and I made a bunch of these little videos with all my friends. And I was fascinated with being able to tell a story and getting my emotions out there with something. I wasn't very good at much as a kid. I sucked at sports. I had yet to find any passion or talent for singing, and so I didn't really know what I was good at. And to have this thing, this vent, I loved it. Me and my friends would make these videos, and they were so stupid, all unscripted, of course. We had no idea what we were doing, but I would kill to find that phone. I lost it years ago, and it's just, I've always wanted to find it so badly, to just be able to sit there and watch all these old videos I made when I was a kid, you know, to have these memories there in my hand and be able to carry them with me. I find that to be one of the greatest parts of being a film editor, that when I'm like 30 years old, I can sit back and watch all these old videos I made when I was a kid. I think that is one of the coolest parts of doing what I do. I've found over the years that people are going to be jealous of your skills and try to tell you and push you around and try to make you feel as if you aren't going anywhere with the thing you're good at. I've also found that these people mean nothing to me now. I never understood why people found it necessary to push people lower and lower down the ladder than they are, and make it seem as if they're better than them, and just sink them lower and lower. And as those people have come and go in my life, I've pushed through, kept going, kept walking the path, so to speak. I had a friend once come up to me and tell me that I could be anything I wanted to be as long as I just put my mind to it. I mean, we have all heard that. We've all heard that throughout our lives, but I've never had someone come up to me and just really tell that to me and believe it. He said that as long as I put my mind to it, I can do anything, and there's no reason I should let anybody tell me that I can't. I've noticed that people like this that come into your life and you just really truly love them, and when they go, it's really, really difficult. But we keep marching. We don't necessarily move on, but we keep going. Life keeps moving. I had an experience recently. I was doing my first show with All Access Productions, and we basically did this anti-bullying show in the public schools, and afterwards we were in the cafeteria hanging out with some of the people, and a lot of the girls there wanted to take pictures with me. And so one of the girls approaches me, and obviously she was shy about meeting new people. We took the picture, and then she went off. But she came back later and walked up to me, and she was like, thank you, you know, thank you, thank you. And she thanked us for doing the show, and she said how she connected with it. And then she rolled up her sleeve to reveal tons of scars, a lot of them. I cut her only in 8th grade. I was cutting and just seemed to be really broken. I gave her a hug, and then later, while we were tearing down all of her equipment, she ran up to me in the auditorium and she was like, can I give you a hug? And obviously I was like, yeah, of course. And she started crying, and I looked at her and I said, you can't let anybody tell you that you're less than who you are. You are absolutely beautiful, and you should be confident in who you are. And she just looked at me, and she just sort of ran off out of the auditorium. I left that day feeling so numb, so numb. I I didn't know what to do. Experiences like those are stuff that just doesn't leave your head. You carry them. You don't really ever forget them. You keep them. Sometimes you take them out and sift through the cobwebs of the old memories, so to speak, but you don't ever forget them, you know? When you take a look around you, you will notice that there are so many people around you. Whether or not you associate with them, whether or not you're friends with them, they are still there and they are still people. I feel like a lot of people forget how people feel. That there are others around them that can feel pain too. That people get hurt. No one is really bulletproof, but the few that say they are, the second that armor comes off, it's going to reveal a hell of a lot of scars and bruises. I say all this because I believe it. It is the coming and going of all these experiences that has made me realize firsthand that this is all very much true, and this is what's caused me to change as a person so much over the years. I realized that even figuring out the small things like this can help you build into a more characterized person. You're good. I've learned to deal quite a lot with stress, tough, nerve-wracking situations, and this is because, some of you may know this, my mother has chronic Lyme disease. It's basically Lyme disease, but for life. And I have had multiple tough and scary situations dealing with this. And one of the worst and probably the scariest situations that stick out is when my mother had a muscle seizure right in front of me. My father wasn't home, so I was the only one who could really help at all. And I remember sitting there, massaging her feet to just tense it all down with 911 on speed dial and watching my mother spaz and convulse. That night definitely played a huge role in making me a much more calm person. Things like that aren't good at the time, but they build you to a certain level of character that can't be achieved without something like that happening. So after discovering this interesting program on my old computer, I started to experiment a little bit. The first video I made in that program was, I kid you not, it was a cat video. Got a bunch of little pictures off the internet, put them into here, put some music over it, and that was the first thing I ever made. But then I realized that there was more to this program, different things I could do. So for my birthday, I got this little old flip cam, shot like 720p with the grainiest quality ever. And so I got this, and I just would film different things. It didn't really matter to me. I made videos of me running around with Nerf guns, shooting at my friends and my brothers, and I made fake little horror movies. I made all types of different things. I made videos on Christmas. I made videos all the time. I just wanted to get better at it, and I eventually got a new camera and I started shooting more and more, and I started shooting out more planned out videos, and I made a video called Manhunt. That was probably the best videos of that time. But just seeing all these tiny shots and pieces of bad acting come together to make a story, even if it was terrible, was amazing. I eventually started making some more sentimental videos. I remember, this was probably the first one I did back about 3 years ago. We lost a very close family friend. Her name was Heather, and she also had a boyfriend at the time, and also a very close family friend, and I knew how much she meant to him, and so I decided to make a video for him. I hopped on Facebook and I downloaded a ton of pictures of her and them together, and I pulled all these pictures off her already flooded page, and I put some music over them, and I made a little slideshow, and I burnt it onto a CD and tucked it away. I gave it to him about a week after her funeral and told him he could watch it whenever he was ready. Now that video, I don't have it today, and it was probably never seen by anyone other than me and him, but it had a lot that went into it, a certain sadness that lingered over the whole thing. I remember going back and watching it, just crying. This girl was someone who impacted my life greatly, and she brought life into a room without even doing anything. Literally, in all ways possible, she was the life of the party. On January 12th, 2011, she was taken not just from me, but from many other people who loved her dearly, and I think I vouch for everyone when I say I miss her. Video editing became an event for me very quickly. it was so much easier to get my feelings out there onto a screen with words or an edit or something like that, and it was just my coping mechanism. I would make it and I would be done. People are going to come into your life. People are going to tell you that you're not going to be good at something. You're going to be criticized, you're going to be pushed down, and a lot of things are going to happen. But every single one of them is just another speed bump to get you onto the next thing in your life. I'm happy with what I've got and where I am. You just have to understand that you are who you are, so don't try to be something different. Embrace who you are, and stop trying to be something you're not. Embrace those who care about you, and not those who are just going to knock you down. So who are you? Why are you here? I'm so thankful for every person who has helped me to get to where I am today. People like that have different names for every person. My list is quite long, but to all these people who have meant and mean so much to me, thank you. I can't wait to see what the future holds. I can't wait to see what I'm up against, but I can't even begin to explain how excited I am. You should be too.